is a thing I do here on my channel. If this is the first video of mine you're watching, I just read books because I like reading books, and that's the only thing I know how to do. So yeah, and I also very much enjoy ASMR, so I thought, I wanted to do it. I just like putting those two together. So if you want to read any books with me, then please subscribe. If you guys want consistent like rain sounds, always put like beneath, like in the background, please let me know, because like that's exactly what I'm envisioning, but I don't know if everyone is okay with that, so I don't want to like bother anyone with it. I would of course make sure you can still hear the story, but just a side note, maybe I'll pick like a specific like really moody book to do that with. Sorry. Regardless, today we are starting Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, which is one of my favorite books ever. And it was just a pure coincidence that I found it. But a happy coincidence. So what I want you to do is to take a couple of deep breaths, but when you're doing so, to remember that when we read books, we no longer exist. The world doesn't exist. All of your problems, they don't exist. None of them. Not a single one. They all disappear. With every inhale and exhale. So if you'd be so kind as to start with a deep inhale, please. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale all your problems away. Thank you. We have a cool graphic here, a cool illustration, sorry. Of Kath and Levi. For Jennifer, who always had an extra lightsaber. Such a cute dedication. Introduction. Before I start reminiscing about Fangirl and showing you its baby pictures, I strongly, even sternly, recommend that if you haven't read the book, you do that first. Read the book fresh and unspoiled. And if you still feel like talking about it, meet me back here, maybe with a cup of tea and a cookie, and I'll tell you how Fangirl came to be. It feels a little off-putting to say this, especially after I told you to go read it, but I wrote Fangirl entirely for myself. My career seemed stalled at the time. My first book hadn't made any waves, and I'd had a hard time selling my second, and it was getting more difficult to justify writing fiction, to justify all the time away from my full-time job and my kids, toddlers. I remember thinking, this might be it. This might be my last book. And if it is my last book, then I may as well write exactly what I want to write. So, I can assume you've read Fangirl before, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna read Fangirl like fully through together, and then we're gonna come back to this part and read it together, okay? Does that sound fun? Fall semester 2011. The Simon Snow series from Encyclowikia, the People's Encyclopedia. This article is about the children's book series. For other uses, see Simon Snow, Disambiguation. Simon Snow is a series of 7 fantasy books written by English philologist. What the heck is a philologist? Is that an actual thing? Gemma T. Leslie. The books tell the story of Simon Snow, an 11-year-old orphan from Lancashire who is recruited to attend the Watford School of Magics to become a magician. As he grows older, Simon joins a group of magicians, the Mages, who are fighting the insidious Humdrum, an evil being trying to rid the world of magic. Since the publication of Simon Snow and the Mages aired in 2001, the books have been translated into 53 languages and, as of August 2011, have sold more than 380 million copies. Leslie has been criticized for the violence in the series and for creating a hero who is sometimes selfish and bad-tempered. An exorcism scene in the 4th book, Simon Snow and the Sulkies 4, triggered boycotts among American Christian groups in 2008. But the books are widely considered modern classics, and in 2010, Time magazine called Simon the greatest children's literary character since Huckleberry Finn. And an 8th book, the last in this series, is set to be released May 1st, 2012. Publishing history: Simon Snow and the Mage's Heir, 2001. Simon Snow and the Second Serpent, 2003. Simon Snow and the Third Gate, 2004. Simon Snow and the Sulkies 4, 2007. Simon Snow and the 5 Blades, 2008. Simon Snow and the 6 White Hares, 2009. Simon Snow and the 7th Oak, 2010. Simon Snow and the 8th Dance, scheduled to be released May 1st, 2012. 1. There was a boy in her room. Kath looked up at the number painted on the door, then down at the room assignment in her hand. Pound Hall, 913. This was definitely room 913, but maybe it wasn't Pound Hall. All these dormitories looked alike, like public housing towers for the elderly. Maybe Kath should try to catch her dad before he brought up the rest of her boxes. "You must be Cather," the boy said, grinning and holding out his hand. "Kath," she said, feeling a panicky jump in her stomach. She ignored his hand. She was holding a box anyway. What did he expect from her? This was a mistake. This had to be a mistake. She knew the Pound was a co-ed dorm. Is there such a thing as co-ed rooms? The boy took the box out of her hands and set it on an empty bed. The bed on the other side of the room was already covered with clothes and boxes. "Do you have more stuff downstairs?" he asked. "We just finished. I think we're going to get a burger now. Do you want to get a burger? Have you been to Paris yet? Burger is the size of your fist." He picked up her arm. She swallowed. "Make a fist," he said. Kath did. "Bigger than your fist," the boy said, dropping her hand and picking up the backpack she left outside the door. "Do you have more boxes? You've got to have more boxes. Are you hungry?" He was tall and thin and tan, and he looked like he'd just taken off a stocking cap, dark blonde hair flopping in every direction. Kath looked down at her room assignment again. Was this Reagan? "Reagan," the boy said happily. "Look, your roommate's here." A girl stepped around Kath in the doorway and glanced back coolly. She had smooth auburn hair and an unlit cigarette in her mouth. The boy grabbed it and put it in his own mouth. "Reagan, Cather, Reagan," he said. "Kath," Kath said. Reagan nodded and fished in her purse for another cigarette. "I took this side," she said, nodding to the pile of boxes on the right side of the room. "But it doesn't matter. If you got feng shui issues, feel free to move my shit." She turned to the boy. "Ready?" He turned to Kath. Coming? Kath shook her head. When the door shut behind them, she sat on the bare mattress that was apparently hers. Feng Shui was the least of her issues, and laid her head against the cinder block wall. She just needed to settle her nerves, to take the anxiety she felt like black static behind her eyes and an extra heart in her throat, and shove it all back down to her stomach where it belonged, where she could at least tie it into a nice knot and work around it. Her dad and Ren would be up any minute, and Kath didn't want them to know she was about to melt down. If Kath melted down, her dad would melt down, and if either of them melted down, Ren would act like they were doing it on purpose, just to ruin her perfect first day on campus, her beautiful new adventure. You're going to thank me for this, Ren kept saying. The first time she'd said it was back in June. Kath had already sent in her university housing forms, and of course, she'd put Ren down as her roommate. She hadn't thought twice about it. The two of them had shared a room for 18 years. Why stop now? We've shared a room for 18 years, Ren argued. She was sitting at the head of Kath's bed, wearing her infuriating, I'm the mature one face. And it's worked out great, Kath said, waving her arm around their bedroom. At the stacks of books and the Simon Snow posters, at the closet where they shoved all their clothes, not even worrying most of the time what belonged to whom. Kath was sitting at the foot of the bed, trying not to look like the pathetic one who always cries. This is college, Ren persisted. The whole point of college is meeting new people. The whole point of having a twin sister, Kath said, is not having to worry about this sort of thing. Freaky strangers who steal your tampons and smell like salad dressing and take cell phone photos of you while you sleep. Ren sighed. What are you even talking about? Why would anybody smell like salad dressing? Like vinegar? Kath said. Remember when we went on the freshman tour and one girl's room smelled like Italian dressing? No. Well, it was gross. It's college, Ren said, exasperated, covering her face with her hands. It's supposed to be an adventure. It's already an adventure. Kath crawled up next to her sister and pulled Ren's hands away from her face. The whole prospect is already terrifying. We're supposed to meet new people, Ren repeated. I don't need new people. That just shows how much you need new people. Ren squeezed Kath's hands. Kath, think about it. If we do this together, people will treat us like we're the same person. It'll be 4 years before anyone can even tell us apart. All they have to do is pay attention. Kath touched the scar on Ren's chin, just below her lip. Sledding accident. They were 9, and Ren was on the front of the sled when it hit the tree. Kath had fallen off the back and into the snow. You know I'm right, Ren said. Kath shook her head. I don't. Kath, please don't make me do this alone. You're never alone, Ren said, sighing again. That's the whole fucking point of having a twin sister. This is really nice, their dad said, looking around Pound 913 and setting a laundry basket full of shoes and books on Kath's mattress. It's not nice, Dad, Kath said, standing stiffly by the door. It's like a hospital room, but smaller, and without a TV. You've got a great view of campus, he said. Ren wandered over to the window. My room faces a parking lot. How do you know? Kath asked. Google Earth. Ren couldn't wait for all this college stuff to start. She and her roommate, Courtney, had been talking for weeks. Courtney was from Omaha, too. The two of them had already met and gone shopping for dorm room stuff together. Kath had tagged along and tried not to pout while they picked out posters and matching desk lamps. Kath's dad came back from the window and put an arm around her shoulders. It's gonna be okay, he said. She nodded. I know. Okay, he said, clapping. Next stop, Scram Hall. Second stop, Pizza Buffet. Third stop, my sad and empty nest. No pizza, Ren said. Sorry, Dad. Courtney and I are going to the freshman barbecue tonight. She shot her eyes at Kath. Kath should go, too. Yes, pizza, Kath said defiantly. Her dad smiled. Your sister's right, Kath. You should go. Meet new people. All I'm going to do for the next 9 months is meet new people. Today, I choose Pizza Buffet. Pizza Buffet. Whatever. It's on me. Ren rolled her eyes. All right, their dad said, patting Kath on the shoulder. Next stop, Scram Hall. Ladies? He opened the door. Kath didn't move. You can come back for me after you drop her off, she said, watching her sister. I want to start unpacking. Ren didn't argue, just stepped out into the hall. I'll talk to you tomorrow, she said, not quite turning to look at Kath. Sure, Kath said. It did feel good, unpacking, putting sheets on the bed and setting her new, ridiculously expensive textbooks out on the shelves over her new desk. When her dad came back, they walked together to Valentino's. Everyone they saw along the way was about Kath's age. It was creepy. Why is everybody blonde? Kath asked. And why are they all white? Her dad laughed. You're just used to living in the least white neighborhood in Nebraska. Their house in South Omaha was in a Mexican neighborhood. Kath's was the only white family on the block. Oh God, she said. Do you think this town has a taco truck? I think I saw a Chipotle, she groaned. Come on, he said. You like Chipotle. Not the point. When they got to Valentino's, it was packed with students. A few, like Kath, had come with their parents, but not many. It's like a science fiction story, she said. No little kids, nobody over 30. Where are all the old people? Her dad held up his slice of pizza. Soylent Green. Kath laughed. I'm not old, you know. He was tapping the table with the 2 middle fingers of his left hand. 41? The other guys my age at work are just starting to have kids. That was good thinking, Kath said. Getting us out of the way early, you can start bringing home chicks now. The coast is clear. All my chicks, he said, looking down at his plate. You guys are the only chicks I'm worried about. Ugh, Dad, weird. You know what I mean. What's up with you and your sister? You've never fought like this before. We're not fighting now, Kath said, taking a bite of bacon cheeseburger pizza. Oh, geez, she spit it out. What's wrong? Did you get an eyelid? No, pickle. It's okay, I just wasn't expecting it. You seem like you're fighting, he said. Kath shrugged. She and Ren weren't even talking much, let alone fighting. Ren just wants more independence. Sounds reasonable, he said. Of course it does, Kath thought. That's Ren's specialty. But she let it drop. She didn't want her dad to worry about this right now. She could tell by the way he kept tapping the table that he was already wearing thin. Way too many normal dad hours in a row. Tired? She asked. He smiled at her apologetically and put his hand in his lap. Big day? Big hard day. I mean, I knew it would be. He raised an eyebrow. Both of you? Same day? Whoosh. I still can't believe you're not coming home with me. Don't get too comfortable. I'm not sure I can stick this out a whole semester. She was only slightly kidding, and you knew it. You'll be fine, Kath. He put his hand, his less twitchy hand, over hers and squeezed. And so will I, you know? Kath let herself look in his eyes for a moment. He looked tired, and yes, twitchy, but he was holding it together. I still wish you'd get a dog, she said. I'd never remember to feed it. Maybe we can train it to feed you. When Kath got back to her room, her roommate, Reagan, was still gone. Or maybe she was gone again. Her boxes looked untouched. Kath finished putting her own clothes away, then opened the box of personal things she'd brought from home. She took out a photo of herself and Ren and pinned it to the corkboard behind her desk. It was from graduation. Both of them were wearing red robes and smiling. It was before Ren cut her hair. Ren hadn't even told Kath she was going to do that. Just came home from work at the end of the summer with the pixie cut. It looked awesome, which probably meant it would look awesome on Kath, too. But Kath could never get that haircut now. Even if she could work up the courage to cut off 15 inches, she couldn't single white female her own twin sister. I don't know what that means. Next, Kath took out a framed photo of their dad, the one that had always sat on their dresser back home. It was an especially handsome photo taken on his wedding day. He was young and smiling and wearing a little sunflower on his lapel. Kath set it on the shelf above her desk. Then she set out a picture from prom of her and Abel. Kath was wearing a shimmering green dress, and Abel had a matching cummerbund. It was a good picture of Kath, even though her face looked naked and flat without her glasses. And it was a good picture of Abel, even though he looked bored. He always looked kind of bored. Kath probably should have texted Abel by now, just to tell him that she'd made it, but she wanted to wait until she felt more breezy and nonchalant. You can't take back text. If you come off all moody and melancholy, melancholy in the text. I don't know. It just sits there in your phone, reminding you of what a drag you are. At the bottom of the box were Kath, Simon, and Baz posters. She laid these out on her bed carefully. A few were originals, drawn or painted just for Kath. She'd have to choose her favorites. There wasn't room for them all on the corkboard, and Kath had already decided not to hang any on the walls, out where God and everybody would notice them. She picked out 3. Simon raising the sword of mages, Baz lounging on a fanged black throne, the 2 of them walking together through whirling gold leaves, scarves whipping in the wind. There were a few more things left in the box: a dried corsage, a ribbon Wren had given her that said Clean Plate Club, commemorative bust of Simon and Baz that she'd ordered from the Noble collection. Kath found a place for everything, then sat in the beat-up wooden desk chair. If she sat right here, with her back to Reagan's bare walls and boxes, it almost felt like home. Thank you so much for reading the first chapter of Fangirl with me. subscribe.